Moving on to motion N, proposed by Sally Shearer.
Sally Shearer, delegate number 19. I feel as though I've been a guidance teacher for hundreds of years. My concerns are about the increase in the volume of referrals to CAMHS without the resources being provided for CAMHS. Figures are 92% increase over the last 5 years. That's huge figures. NHS, Grampian and Tayside have cut funding by £80,000. Last Wednesday there, I was contacted CAMHS about one of our young people. The member of staff has been working 6 days a week for 6 months. And that will continue until the end of June, when funding runs out for overtime. And this is to allow them to meet their waiting times, so that they can say that they've met the waiting times that the government have set as targets. What happens next, though? It's actually, yes, they've seen them, but who's going to put in the support for them? Guess where it's going to be? Back to the guidance teacher in school. Stress levels are increasing for huge numbers of reasons. Exams, the SQA have recognised that. It was alluded to by the DFM, Deputy First Minister. Social media, all that risk-taking behaviour. Self-harm, rates are increasing. Suicide rate, attempts are increasing for our young people as well. We guidance teachers are expected to deal with all of this, with reducing time, there's that 4-lettered word again, and increasing numbers in our caseloads. We're expected to support our young people, which is our next generation. We need to be able to produce not only academically able young people, but socially able and resilient young people for our future Scotland. Mental health should no longer be the poor relation in the NHS. Please support the motion.
Do we have a seconder for that motion? Charles who? Right. Any contributions for the floor? Ruth?
I think that other people should be standing up as well as me.
I thought you were coming up here to battle me there, Ruth.
Ruth French, Delegate 67. Now, when I'm in school these days, I operate in a cupboard. Well, it's not called a cupboard, but it really is a cupboard. And it's a cupboard within the first aid suite. That's a very, possibly a misnomer, but it's what it's called. So my immediate colleagues are the nurse who is responsible for the school and the cluster, and the first aider. And I was talking to the nurse, and she was saying that the guidelines for access to CAMHS have been rewritten so that now a child has to be virtually unable to exist with their mental health situation before they can be put on a waiting list. Now, that means that for the particular child that she was talking about, she would be very careful as to how she was going to write the application. But it means that for the teacher and for the class, the other pupils in the classroom of that child, life is going to be very difficult. Now, it seems crazy to me. I would support this motion full-heartedly. I think the situation in CAMHS is just unbelievably awful, but that's me as a lay person.
We'll take that to the vote then, colleagues. All in favour? Against? You're against it, are you? Well, you put your hand up when I said against. Somebody take her out. Abstaining? Carried unanimously.